The bass world recently lost a great in Herbie Flowers, so I thought I'd do 5 bass lines with maybe 1 bonus, showing some of his amazing playing. The first is Hold On by Ian Gomm, which starts off with this creative slide. Something that Herbie's playing was infused with was just quirky moments and incredible phrasing. Really great. You can download all these following the link below. So we've got that lovely little moment there. And we've got a D minor. It's just very simple notes from the arpeggio. Herbie was a jazz player primarily, so I'm assuming he would have got a chord chart and just making stuff up over it. Just a really nice groove, linking up the chords very, very musically. It's all minor chords here, so A minor. Wanted to include this bass line because it's really just very simple minor triads. Little inflections, little slides. You can play the minor triad any way you like. But it does do a slide, so I think playing the D at the 10th fret there. Simple triads again. Once more the G minor. And that's just a classic pattern there. Root 5, flat 7, octave. Now I've strung my 1975 Fender Jazz with rotor sound nylon strings. That's kind of what he would have used a lot on his early 60s stack knob bass. It's quite a gnarly, old school, rough and ready sound, but it hits the spot. On that D minor, he's just choosing to play a root, going down to a 5th. Just a very simple bass line that outlines notes from the chord, sticking to a groove with his unique tone. It just sounds brilliant. Next, we'll look at Horsell Common and the Heat Ray, which is a Jeff Wayne tune from The War of the Worlds. I'll take a pick for this one. Now it's just that all the way through, and the beginning starts off with this monstrous type of effect, very eerie kind of effect. He used a lot of effects with the producers he was working with to get whatever he wanted. So we've got a plectrum here, and it's this clicky sound that you get with especially these tape wound strings. You get this, and then he does that on another bass line I'll show you later, where we start off all downstrokes. E, F sharp, G natural to the G sharp. And you're just keeping this feel going the whole way through. I'm anchoring on the edge of the bass just to keep things steady a bit. It's all G's and G sharps there. Use whatever fingers you like. I might use the little finger there for the G sharp. This is New York City, You're a Woman by Kooper. And it's a classic sort of A to D chord progression. But instead of following the root notes, which is what most bass players would do, if I was given this chord chart, I would do the same. There's a moment, I'll put the timestamp on the song, where he just plays some melodic stuff around the A major. This song starts off in a different key and it modulates, so we're in A major now. And it does this. I think it's something like that, and I think he probably is travelling across one string. His style was very melodic, it was unique, he would just play whatever came out, and that was the jazz thing, that was the jazz improviser in him. So he was just playing around with some major scale notes in a high register, quite an unusual thing to do. And I can hear something like that, like a little slide. Really lovely touch. Let's move on to Jump Into the Fire by Harry Nilsson. I'd been listening to this tune for maybe 2 decades before knowing it was Herbie Flowers. There's that incredible moment where he detunes the bass after the drum break, and it's just an amazing sound. You can really hear the plectrum and you can hear the strings going. Now this is a funny one. I'm pretty sure this is what it is, but let's go for it. So there's a big slide at the beginning. I suspect he played it something like that, because you can hear a slide at the beginning. So there's definitely the D at the 10th fret, and it's all that same thing again where we've got downstrokes. And the notes there are really odd. It took me ages to figure them out. I think it's that E, F, A, B. And then maybe he's playing the whole thing with the D here, but I've just adapted it to make it slightly easier. The guitar plays the C, natural. Add that in if you want, but he doesn't do that. You could play it like that if you want. It's quite hard to pick out the notes, so I think it's pretty much that. And it does do that almost all the way through the tune. It's another one that is excellent for plectrum, and just that tone is just nasty. It's a really crazy bass tone, and that's partly with these sort of nylon black tape wound strings. Right, last one, we've got an iconic bass line from Rock On by David Essex, and here you have to tune your low E down to a B. Which is roughly there, right? This is a great bass line. Now what it is, it's a bit of slapback delay, then you've got a double tracked bass. So he earned £12 for the regular bass line, but because he double tracked it, he played it 1 octave higher, he actually got £12 more, so 24 for the session. He did that on Walk on the Wild Side. I'm going to show you that as a bonus just after this one. But this is a great bass line. The whole song is really built around the riff. This is how it goes. That's it, what a great riff. So I'm playing that B to C sharp. I'm using fingers 3 and 2. Use 4 and 2 if you want. It's a bit of a slide to the C sharp. And we're octaves now. Ghost note in the middle of that. And there's the low B. There's a ghost note just before it to the C sharp. Sometimes he stays on the C sharp. Does some cool little fills. It's kind of around C sharp minor, so if you want to put fills in, you can using those notes. But really it's just that riff going through the whole thing. A lot of these I picked up just because they were quite simple riffs that just show how important a bass can be to anchor the song. And Herbie was absolutely, he was a genius at that. Talking of genius, I'll give you a bonus line here, which is Walk on the Wild Side. This is another situation where he sensed an opportunity. He had his double bass, he was equally adept on double bass. I think he started on that. And he decided to record one line on the double bass and one line on the electric bass. And this is one of the most iconic, most famous bass lines of all time. So the double bass just played a G, slid up to the C. That's the chord progression, G to C. And the bass line, electric bass line, just plays a B to an E, and then you get this effect. And that's a major 10th, and all that is when you're starting on one note, you count 10 up in a major scale. And you get that interval, a major 10th. Very easy to find because it's just 1 fret higher than whatever your root note is, and sort of you leave a gap of 2 strings in the middle. So you can play this as if you're playing the double bass part and the electric bass part. You go first finger and third or little finger. And I'm using my thumb and index or middle, whatever you fancy. Let's use first and third, but I'll show you why. You can reach out your little finger to the 12th fret. Yeah, you can repeat the C, play the higher note. And then it does some cool groove stuff later. Those were just 6 Herbie Flowers bass lines. I could have picked many more. I'll put a link below to the PDF, and also I'll put a playlist so you can have a listen to some more of his incredible bass lines for David Bowie and all kinds of artists. There's a Cliff Richard one in there that's amazing. I've written on my notes here, creative, musical, unique tone, quirky, improvisational. He truly was one of a kind. Give the channel a subscribe and the video a like if you liked that lesson. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.